If your actions are not godly actions, you have the mark of the beast. So if you sleep with white women, you have the mark of the beast. If you are not in Isupk, you have the mark of the beast. Yes, it is true. Yes.
Giving all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, halalyam Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders in Israel that rule well. Peace to the elect house of David. More on this new Isupk doctrine, man. Romans 7:17. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. So the whole idea that they're pushing is, if your actions are not godly, which what is a godly action? These commandments, man. What would be an ungodly action? Sin. And now when we look at this, what is sin? 1 John 3:4. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. Now is it 1 John 2? Let me try to find this. This is it, 1 John 1:8. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. So if you ask this brother specifically, does he have sin? So if he says no, then he's deceiving himself, the truth not in him. But if he also says yes, then by his own estimation, he would have the mark of the beast, man. He said he's not doing something not in a godly manner. Let's just look at ungodly very quickly. Ungodly. It said, Psalm 1:1, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sitteth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So being a sinner, being ungodly, they're synonymous, man. So we've got the account of King David. Did King David have the mark of the beast? He also said sleeping with a certain nationality that's the mark of the beast. So did King Solomon have the mark of the beast? You're going to have to end up condemning a lot of people, man. Apostle Paul said sin dwelt in him, or sin was in him, acting in him. So did he have the mark of the beast? What he was doing in the mind, the frontlets in his forehead and his right hand. Did Paul have the mark of the beast, Apostle Paul? Psalm 1:6. For the Lord Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. So how much sin do you have to do for them to have the mark of the beast in it? Because Paul said sin was in him. So did he have it, or was Paul righteous? Well, let's get this. 1 Peter 4:18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So Paul's talking about this, but he said he had sin in him. So was he righteous, or did he have the mark of the beast? The charagma of the beast. And what is a charagma, man? The brother was asked about a charagma. He said, you know what charagma is? Come back next Wednesday, man. Come back next Wednesday. But I thought this was the home of the truth. Charagma, we've gone over this a ridiculous amount of times, man. We literally get ridiculed for it. A stamped and printed mark of the mark stamped in the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of anti-Mashiach. The mark branded upon horses, thin carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. So where in this is this sin? Or stone graven by art and man's device. So how on earth is a sin graven? Look at this. Revelation 14, it goes on to say, if anyone worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead and his hand, or in his hand. And verse 10 says, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. So if anyone sinned with their right hand or with their forehead, do they get the wrath? Can they repent of it? Before you were in ISUPK, did you have the mark of the beast? And it really shows a low level of understanding from these groups, man. Because what is the beast? He broke it down and he was actually correct in terms of the beast. He went in how the first one, when it's up on the sea, rises up at the sea, it's going into Rome, and then the Roman system. But then in 11, he broke it down, that's America. So what, did sin only come about with America? They're trying to say, well, you didn't need a RFID microchip to do crack. But we're not talking about just sin or just folly or madness. We're talking about a specific mark of a specific beast. So why is this so significant that it's only spoke about in this chapter? Because Revelation is going into the end time, the eschaton. So in the eschaton, you have the beast, which you know what it is. But then you say the mark is sin. Well, sin's been around from the beginning. Did Adam have the mark? Show me. Let's read 1 John again. 1 John 1 and 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. So, when you came in ISUPK, do you now have no sin? Are you deceiving yourself? The truth is not in you, man. And if you say you do have sin, then you've said an ungodly way, which will be sin. You actually were on record in the video saying sin earlier before you started getting pressured on it. So, if you sin, or if you have sin, then you have the mark in it. So by your own logic, you're finished, you're through. You'd have to be through. If sin is the mark of the beast, not the mark of the beast is a sin, but if the mark of the beast is sin itself, let's search up the word sin. Okay, so it's a sin offering. So Leviticus 5 is talking about offering an atonement for getting the mark. The charagma, the graven image of the beast. But that's sin itself, not a sin, because that's how you could try. That doesn't even make sense. Psalm 51 and 2, wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. Is this a prayer about cleansing him from the mark of the beast? Huh? Tender mercies to blot out his marks of the beast. How come it says transgressions? I thought there was only one mark of the beast. Let's get Jeremiah 23, man. It says, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And that's not just talking about the Christian church, man. The pastors. Let's get that word, pastors. And when did the Lord make a commanding general a priest or a pastor? This word, Raya.
Strong's H, 7462.
It says, to pasture, to tend, graze, feed, tend, pasture, shepherd, of ruler, teacher, of people as flock, shepherd, herdsman, to feed, graze, of cows, sheep, etc., literal, of idolater, Israel as flock, shepherd, shepherdess, to associate with, be a friend of, to associate with, be companions, to be a special friend. So what are they feeding you, man? Defiled bread among the Gentiles. Spiritually defiled bread. Ezekiel 4 and 13. And the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Because that's not good bread, man. This is Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. What's a dog meant to do? If you have a dog and someone's a watchman, think about a dog and a watchman, what do they have in common? They have to warn people, man. They have to warn people. You have the term dumb bell, going back to that Grecian way of exercise. A dumb bell is going back to a bell that wouldn't make a sound, it's dumb. Dumb meaning not making a sound. So a dumb dog is useless. Imagine a guard dog, it doesn't say anything. You're getting robbed and it's just sat there like, oh yeah, don't worry. Trust in thine enemy. And that's where it goes to take the max. And ultimately, Deacon Hakar from Sakari said that General Yohana had said on the phone, well, I'm going to take the chip, and you're going to take the chip, because we need to eat. And then the same brother from the start of this video was going into, well, if you don't have the mark, how are you going to eat? So the comment was, is it impossible for someone with the mark to feed someone without the mark? And he was like, but you didn't answer the question. No, it's not impossible. What kind of low-level understanding? Well, if you don't have the mark, you can't buy, right? Okay, but the whole idea is you can't buy. Like, how many people can't buy cigarettes, can't buy alcohol because of the age limit? But someone will go and get it for them, innit? Someone will go and buy the product and give it to them because they had the age. That would be the limiting factor. So we're not even thinking. No, we're thinking, but they're not even thinking about what they're actually saying. Well, if you can't buy it, how can you get it? Well, if you can't buy an alcohol at 16, 17 in the UK or whatever, can someone buy it for you? Yes. And that's not the only way. We were fed manna from heaven. So it shows a lack of faith, man. Isaiah 56:10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Loving to slumber. Hey, man, don't sweat it. Just take it. Take it. When it comes around, take it. Don't sweat the thing. And then you've seen men under Yohana, the commanding general, where Yahawashi never said a commanding general should be a priest. The military gear. The commanding general said, don't sweat it. Take it. All Israel should take it. But then you've got men under him saying, well, it's up to you if you want to take it. I won't take it. Well, he's a commanding general, man. He dropped a command. Sir, yes, sir. Isaiah 56:11. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. They are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain from his quarter. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant. Let's get that. Is it Lord's will or Lord will? So it says, come ye, they say. I know that's in James. It says, come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant. And you, of course, you have wine, is our strong drink. That's not a transgression. But the wine that we can't drink is of that other philosophy, like Babylon the Great has. Even going into their medical system, man, with the max, with the C ultimately, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the charagma, the final idol that will enable you to buy and sell. The way they're pushing it now, it's looking like you can have your medical records on. It's looking like money is going to become an issue because it's transmitting the crown pestilence. So you can see the way it's going. And we speak as men on this because we know what it is. We don't know exactly how it will happen. That's what we know in part. We prophesy in part means. But John 15 tells you that Yahawashi said to the disciples that they would have all things revealed unto him. So Yahawah gave the 100% truth to Yahawashi. Yahawashi gave the 100% truth to his disciples, man. And his disciples come back. You've got Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, it says, the thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the earth. No new thing under the sun. Salach Yerabah. Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. So understanding the thing as man, Ecclesiastes would say what? The man that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new man under the sun. And of course, you've got Revelation 11, verse 3 it says, "And I'll give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth." That's representing the prophets, man. So the prophets is who's saying before, those ones that have been dealt that truth again. So you've got Revelation 17. It says, "And there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials." 16:1 tells you the 7 vials of the wrath of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." So there's a type of spiritual wine. When you begin to buy into the philosophy of the beast, even the system, that's the image, all of these things are counted like unto wine or a woman. That's why Revelation 14:14, 144 says, "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits unto Yahawah and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi." That's the elect. That's the elect. If the mark is sin, how is it graven? How is the graven image? A graven image is a sin, but how itself is sin the mark, man? So that would have been Solomon had the mark, David had the mark. David had the mark. Was his heart not perfect? I might have to Google that. Bear with me. There you are. 1 Kings 11:4. "For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi's God, as was the heart of David his father." So David had a perfect heart, but he did sin at a certain time, but he had the mercy. He had the sure mercies of David even. So when David had mercy upon him, when David had mercy, there was mercy upon David. Not David was giving himself mercy. When there was mercy upon David, was that the mark of the beast? He had the mark of the beast, but the Lord had mercy on him. Do you see how detrimental this could end up being? Well, yeah, you can take the mark, because David took the mark, so David sinned, and yeah, you know. Why would it talk about this mark of this specific beast that came up in verse 11, man? It's talking about this mark wasn't around in the time of Rome, so Paul couldn't have had the mark, man. It tells you another beast come up out of the earth. You know who that is? 2 horns like a lamb, going into the plebeians and the patricians. He spake like a dragon. He spake as that deceiver, even that serpent, Genesis 3:1, more subtle than any beast of the field. So you know who this is, but you don't know what the mark is. Charagma, a literal graven image. How can that be sin? How can that be sin? So Paul had the mark of the beast, apparently. Ask Isupk, practical knowledge. What kind of practical knowledge is this, man? Everyone, go there and pressure him, man. Did Paul have the mark of the beast? Romans 7:17. Did Solomon have the mark of the beast? 1 Kings 11. Did David have the mark of the beast? You can find that one where it says save in the issue of Uriah the Hittite. And ask them if you can repent from it. So I pray this was edifying and not just jarring and vexing. It's important, man. So with that, peace to the elect house of David, double honors to the apostles and elders, All praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, shalom.
White women, you have the mark of the beast. If you are not in Isupk, you have the mark of